Welcome to Emotional Top Story, where every moment touches the heart and every story reminds us that love can appear when we least expect it. Charlotte Ashford had attended countless business events and charity galas, but this wedding felt different because for once, she was here as a guest, not out of obligation. At 34, Charlotte commanded Ashford Industries with the same grace she brought to navigating social situations while using a wheelchair. The spinal cord injury from a skiing accident 3 years ago had changed many practical aspects of her life, but her sharp business mind and natural elegance remained untouched. What had changed, however, was her comfort with large social gatherings. Charlotte had discovered that many people either stared awkwardly or avoided eye contact entirely when they encountered her wheelchair. The exhaustion of managing other people's discomfort had made her increasingly selective about social events. But this wedding was different. It was for her college roommate Jessica, someone who had remained genuinely supportive through Charlotte's recovery and rehabilitation. Charlotte wanted to celebrate her friend's happiness, even if it meant enduring the uncomfortable dynamics that often came with formal events. She positioned herself near the edge of the ballroom, close enough to observe the festivities but with easy access to the exits, in case the evening became overwhelming. She watched as guests danced and mingled, feeling that familiar isolation of being visibly different in elegant social settings. That was when she noticed the little girl. The child looked about 4 years old, wearing a purple dress and clutching a small stuffed animal. She stood near Charlotte's table, clearly separated from her family in the crowd. "Are you lost, sweetheart?" Charlotte asked gently, noticing the child's uncertain expression. The little girl nodded. "I can't find my daddy," she said in that matter-of-fact tone children use when they expect adults to fix everything. "What does your daddy look like?" Charlotte asked, scanning the ballroom for anyone searching for a child. "He's very tall and has dark hair," the little girl replied. "And he wears the same suit as all the other daddies here." Charlotte smiled at the description, one that could easily apply to half the men in the room. "Well, why don't we look for him together? My name is Charlotte. What's yours?" "Lily," the child said, apparently deciding Charlotte was trustworthy. "And my daddy is the best daddy in the whole world." Before Charlotte could respond, a man appeared, his face filled with relief. "Lily, there you are," he said, kneeling down beside her. "I was looking everywhere for you, Daddy." "This is Charlotte," Lily announced proudly. "She was helping me find you because I got lost." The man looked up at Charlotte with gratitude, genuine and focused on her kindness, not her wheelchair. "Thank you so much for staying with her," he said. "I'm Michael Torres, and I can't tell you how grateful I am." Charlotte found herself studying his face, the warmth in his expression, the complete absence of the awkwardness she had learned to expect. "I'm Charlotte Ashford," she said softly. "It was my pleasure." "Lily is delightful company." Michael appeared to be in his mid-30s, with a natural confidence that made his formal attire look comfortable rather than stiff. More importantly, he looked directly at Charlotte when he spoke, engaging with her like any other person. As they talked, she learned that Michael was attending the wedding alone with Lily after his babysitter had cancelled at the last minute. He worked as a pediatric nurse at Children's Hospital, which explained his calm, patient demeanor. "I hope you don't mind me saying," Michael said as Lily settled beside Charlotte, "but you handled that situation with Lily perfectly. Most people would have just called security or a coordinator." Charlotte felt warmth in her chest at his words. "Most people assume children in wheelchairs don't mix well," she admitted. "But I've always enjoyed talking with kids. They see the world so clearly." Michael nodded. "In my work, I see how naturally children adapt. It's adults who struggle more with what kids accept easily." As the evening went on, Charlotte found herself drawn into easy conversation with both Michael and Lily. The little girl was curious and sweet, asking thoughtful questions about Charlotte's wheelchair with innocent fascination. "Can I push you to the dance floor?" Lily asked suddenly. "I think you and Daddy should dance together." Michael flushed slightly. "Lily, not everyone likes to dance," he said gently. "Actually," Charlotte replied, surprising herself, "I'd love to dance. I haven't danced since my accident, but I've always wondered if it was possible." Michael's face lit up. I think we can figure it out together if you're willing to experiment. What followed was unlike any dance Charlotte had ever known. Michael moved naturally with her wheelchair, turning every movement into something graceful and joyful. Lily became their self-appointed dance instructor, offering giggly instructions from the sidelines. For the first time since her accident, Charlotte felt included, truly part of a celebration rather than merely tolerated. Guests watched with admiration, not pity, and she realized that Michael's quiet acceptance had changed the whole atmosphere around her. As the night came to a close, Michael approached her, nervous but sincere. "Charlotte," he said softly, "I know this might seem forward, but would you like to have dinner with me sometime? Not as a thank you, but because I've really enjoyed talking with you tonight." Charlotte looked at this man who somehow made her feel interesting and beautiful, not inspiring or tragic. "I'd like that very much," she said. Over the following months, their relationship grew naturally. Michael was thoughtful and intelligent, a man who truly saw her for who she was. His work had taught him that strength comes in many forms, and he admired Charlotte's mind and resilience. More importantly, Michael and Lily welcomed her into their daily lives, making her feel like family, not just a woman who happened to use a wheelchair. 8 months later, as they sat together in the accessible garden Charlotte had designed, Michael finally said, "I fell in love with your intelligence, your kindness, and your strength. You using a wheelchair is just one detail, not who you are." Charlotte smiled, eyes glistening. "And I love how you and Lily have shown me that my life isn't limited by anyone's expectations." 2 years later, they married in the same ballroom where their first dance began. Lily, now the flower girl, twirled joyfully in her purple dress as Charlotte and Michael danced once more. As she looked around, Charlotte realized something beautiful. A lost child had led her to find the love she thought she'd never experience again. Sometimes the most meaningful connections come when we stop hiding from what makes us vulnerable and allow others to see us exactly as we are. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Emotional Top Story for more inspiring tales of love, strength, and the power of authentic acceptance.